everyone, Pineapple here with the final 2 episodes of Wednesday Season 2, Part 2, Episodes 7 and 8. Last time we had the atrocious Episode 5, only watchable thanks to that fantastic shot of Emma Myers, and a very good Episode 6, only failing in a couple of character moments. Now this time we have one ending per episode, one for Bianca's arc that's been all over the place, one thing for the first 2 episodes, a disconnected direction for the next, and negligible for the last 2, so let's hope we can at least get a solid finale. And of course we finished the whole Adams versus Knight story arc, but there are definitely a few stumbles there. Without further ado, let's get into episode 7. Woe Me the Money starts with a fun flashback in a town called Morning Song. Where have we heard that before? And we get to see Dort's first meeting with Gideon, or in reality, Arnold Hunt, a failing actor who now meeting Dort and Gabrielle are dragged into his idea, a cult named after this very town. Arnold becoming the character and figurehead Gideon. From the start, very clearly in it for the money and fame, and back in the future, just because he feels like it I guess, Dort reveals he's known Gabrielle was in the school the whole time, now using her as a hostage. Bianca being his siren again. So, let's get this dog shit pacing clear, okay? Because this is the end of Bianca's arc, and I don't think she even appears in the next episode, so even though Wednesday helps her finish her arc in this episode, she doesn't do jack shit to return the favour. The first 2 episodes of the season make Bianca do bad things while being threatened by Dort, going so far as to siren Morticia. Nothing comes of this, not for the Adams or Bianca. The next 2 episodes are about Bianca's suddenly completely changed mother being hidden and introducing Ajax into the plot to give him something to do. And for the last 2 episodes, nothing progressed at all. That's terrible. Bianca's arc is all over the place and there's no depth at all. Sure, the story is interesting and this is a decent finale to it, but it's very clear they wanted to give Bianca a story, they spent 5 minutes of it, handed in the unfinished stop points and called it a day. After the credits, Orloff's body is finally found, Dort doing all he can to pave over it and get the gala up and running for the evening. With the trio finally grouped together, the gay couple and their adoptive daughter. All is right with the world as Wednesday and Enid have the closeness they should have had all season. And the bickering between Enid and Agnes is more comedic and less Enid about to assault a 13-year-old. Also, where exactly is Wednesday looking in this shot? There's no way these two are acting as straight as the showrunners want them to. Wednesday, now in her closeness and collaboration era, updates them about the premonition and has to get background on Isaac from her parents, the Da Vinci being Gomez's ex-bestie and roommate, and about how Stonehurst took advantage of his tech once he died. Wednesday jokingly offers Pugsley's life to fulfill the prophecy, and she talks with Morticia about their shared writing. Sure, I'd have liked their talk to go a bit deeper, but we do get a couple good bits of comedy.
Your father has no inkling, and that's the way I'd like to keep it.
My lips are sealed for my own protection. I began to profusely vomit after reading the first 5 pages.
Enid tells Bruno to piss off, him almost on his knees, begging for a second chance, while Capri gives the warning that Enid could permanently shift while she's going through alpha puberty if she wolfs out on the full moon, and that if she does, other werewolves will hunt her down. Why? Who knows? Honestly, I think the season would be far better if the premonition kept with Enid until the final episode. None of this alpha shit. Then next episode, she could die in the confrontation with the Knights, and Pugsley could bring her back. Then, instead of next season being about her wolf body drama, it could have been undead wolf body drama, which all things considered would probably be easier on the budget. The male villains measured dicks, Wednesday conveniently arriving at the Galpin house and bunker the second they go out to get Francois medicine. And Weems gives us some interesting backstory about her and Francois that is quickly stopped by Wednesday's sarcasm. I kinda wish that was explored, but whatever. Finally, Wednesday talks to Eugene. It only took 7 out of 8 episodes this season. This episode, and I think one conversation next episode, being the sum of their interactions. For Wednesday, and the character that dealt her first massive blow of sadness and guilt midway through last season. I hate these showrunners, man. We have a slurp detector in a corpse-seeking bug Wednesday found, and Ajax notices something is up when Bianca just kinda waves him off. Dort forcing her to siren Hester into donating her fortune to the school. Once again, like with Morticia, you'd think if Dort has an anti-siren charm, someone as world-wizened, business-focused, and having a self-professed history in tomb raiding would know not to walk into a business deal in a school full of outcasts without resistance to mind whammies.
Masterful presentation. My ego has never been more expertly stroked.
Tyler is forced to give blood to Francoise to get her back on her feet, and I get this is supposed to be building up the fraying of the knights to culminate in the battle lines next episode, but it's really just an excuse to get them away from the gala, boring us with cutting away to them every now and then, even though they could have just been absent from the episode bar the beginning and the cliffhanger, and little would have changed. Larissa and Morticia have a pretty good scene together talking about their relationship, and Hester trying to put a wedge between the mother and daughter. I kind of wish Weems got some proper emotional scenes like this last season, instead of just, constantly being a bitch. Enid is preparing her cage and bears all the info on her alpha puberty to Wednesday. Man, I'm really liking them having their communication now. Too bad it took 5 episodes of estrangement to get to this point. Ajax bursts in just as Wednesday is swearing her undying loyalty to Enid.
Would you come and find me? I have no problem hunting you down.
We just kiss her already, dude.
Wanting their help with Bianca, Wednesday confronting her the next day, seeing Hester mind-whammied for herself. That's right, these two rivals set up last season finally get a proper fleshed out one-on-one. Once again, 7 episodes in. Joy Sunday's final episode of the season. God, this show is really trying to be Stranger Things in the worst way possible. Bianca sirens Wednesday, but that move was predictable. Finally, someone with a brain cell. So Agnes had to be hanging around and updates Wednesday that all went well and good, but oh my god, Agnes has done this, which greatly offends Wednesday. And I'm sorry, if this was part 1, Agnes, I'd be disgusted, but she's just trying to show Wednesday how highly she regards her, and Wednesday makes her cry.
Heartless bitch.
Gideon's finally made it to Nevermore, and even though Bianca is his stepdaughter, kind of, he barely says a word to her before his mistakes pile up and Dort decides it'd all be easier with him out of the way, and Jesus. Yeah, that death rules. I especially love the little toss of what is clearly a fake skeleton into the fireplace. Also, I'm sure Bianca's reaction would make a great meme. The ball starts and it looks pretty good, nice new and reuse of a previous set, and all the outfits are pretty on point, especially Ajax and Dort's dinky pirate hats. Weems is fully dressed up for the 2 scenes she appears in, which is odd, and Wednesday finally gets Bianca on board. The shock of her dodging the siren song getting the siren on side. Enid is waiting for Bruno, but as soon as he turns up, the other woman is there, acting confused that he's with another girl. What the hell are the logistics here? So, Bruno most likely called it off with Sophia when he tried to get Enid back. Not doing so would have been dumb, meaning possibility 1, this girl came all the way from the Philippines to get him back, and her question is asking if it's him. Or she knows nothing about the cheating and wanted to surprise him. And lastly, the silliest, option 3, Bruno invited her and wanted to try and bounce between the 2 girls all evening without either one noticing, and honestly, I have no idea which one of these options they were going for. Enid takes the high road and brushes Bruno off, running into a weeping Agnes, and Enid finally realizes Agnes just wants friends. So much like Wednesday, she embraces Agnes's own eccentricities and tells her to stop trying to be like Wednesday. Pugsley is feeling down, leaving the grounds while followed by Isaac, and Ajax pulls his part of the plan off, saving Gabrielle so that Dort has no leverage. But, he can still cut Bianca's scholarship, and what kind of leverage was leaving Gabrielle alone unguarded anyway? Now that Agnes is herself, Wednesday finally shows her some respect. Agnes still willing to help along with the plan, but more secure in herself and her connection to the 2 girls. This is the kind of character arc writing I want for every character. Is it just twisted irony that whenever the writers try to focus on Tyler or make a mess of Bianca's arc, in a sort of alchemical law of equivalent exchange, Agnes and Wenclair get unintentionally fantastic moments? Now we have this season's dance with a Lady Gaga song, because of course after the virality of that happening last season, they knew to do it again. And not only do I love the dead dance as a bop, but everything else in the scene is really good too. The dance itself is well choreographed, and it certainly helps that Emma and Evie have background in dance. It serves the plot as Agnes takes Dort's anti-siren watch while he does his silly little dance, and looking good, but a little confusing, the camera spends a lot of time with Bianca and Wednesday leering at each other. Okay, I kinda get the appeal of Wen Clay now. And her waiting for Agnes to deliver the watch, it's just cut together oddly. But otherwise, with Thing getting to dance in the mix, the scene's golden. Now with the watch out of his hands, Bianca calls Dort on stage and forces him to tell all, with a really funny delivery. Also, Morticia's reactions to him are great.
It started when I ordered Bianca Barclay to siren Morticia Adams into asking her mother for a large donation.
Still kinda weird that there's no interaction between Morticia and Bianca after the whole focus on mothers and her key role in the plot, just another victim of the sloppily done morning song plot line. Dort holds Bianca at fire point, but Ajax stones him, and the chandelier Dort lit on fire comes down and shatters him. Oh my god, Ajax just killed a man. Well, it's at least manslaughter. Yay, Ajax finally had some agency instead of trying to get Bianca to open up or just straight up being cucked. Please, for the love of God, give him some prominence next season. Also, I love the cuts back to Wednesday as she revels in Dort's downfall. Bianca thanks Wednesday and Ajax with a really bad line.
I owe you one, Ajax. You really rocked his world.
Hester is trying real hard to get Wednesday to come home with her. Something she'll do next episode too, which seems real suspect. But Wednesday tells her to shove it thanks to how critical she's been of Gomez. Hester even using the line,
You're just going through a phase.
seriously? You writers just keep running headfirst into the queer allegory and pretending it's not there. The episode ends with everyone realizing Pugsley's gone and no one able to find him once Isaac chloroforms him. Such a weird relationship. A man technically as old as his parents preying on the boy with no friends. What is it with these writers and groomers slash predators? This is also a pretty good moment for Wednesday, as before she flippantly offered Pugsley his tribute, but now looks ready to kill for him. And sure, occasionally that's her baseline, but you get what I mean. So that was Woe Me the Money, a pretty solid episode. Sure, it suffers from Bianca's arc being a complete mess, but the gala was great, Agnes carries, and I was pretty entertained the whole way through. Most of my criticisms are that of the season itself, and mostly not that prevalent in the episode. Finally is the finale, This Means Woe. A fine ending, but with a lot of elements not used to their full potential. A full search for Pugsley is underway and the student body is evacuating. With no sign of Pugsley, Weems, the Addams women, and the crick in her neck, seriously what's up with that, need to pool their psychic resources to get a lead, enlisting Hester's help, having a seance in Rotwood's secret chamber. It's a rocky endeavour, Wednesday hesitant and Hester bitchy as ever, but eventually Wednesday gets a vision of Gomez and Morticia dumping Isaac's corpse under the skull tree, giving us more questions than answers. This leaves Morticia to tell the story of what happened. The past shown with the same monochrome filter from Isaac's story in episode 1. And much like the vision, we get to see the same actors return as young Morticia and Gomez, making me once again wonder if they want a spin-off, why not use these actors to do a prequel? Able to reuse many sets since it seems Morticia and Gomez were surrounded by more nefarious plots and murders than an Agatha Christie protagonist. Also, the obligatory comment on how attractive Gwen Jones is. It turns out Gomez used to have the same power as Pugsley and Fester, but lost it due to Isaac's betrayal, sticking him in as the power source of the lowest machine in his first attempt to remove the hide back in the tower before Stonehurst appropriated it. The grave that Gomez threw him in being the one he dug for Gomez. The only reason it went awry, Morticia sabotaging the experiment, blowing Isaac sky high. But should he succeed where he failed last time, it'll be Pugsley on the chopping block. The next day everyone's leaving, Bruno off with Sophia, good riddance to bad rubbish, and Ajax and Enid having a little talk. It's really cool that they're back as friends, but it's definitely Enid who should have apologised to him. Sure, he was rude and off-putting to her a couple times, but she was two-timing him. This is victim blaming. Agnes has already got Enid a list of new boyfriends using her stalker powers for good, but Enid decides to swear off guy romance for a while. Isaac humiliates Pugsley in revenge for being kept like a pet, and after some Alabama-looking shenanigans with Francoise, they gear up for the battle. Seriously though, the way the siblings separate when Tyler comes back really feels like teenagers about to kiss getting walked in on. I hate it here. We get a bit of Agnes' backstory, coming from a broken home, her father clearly some kind of businessman, and mother preferring her normie family. Wow, Agnes really isn't beating the Wenclair daughter allegations. Wednesday gives her own version of comforting words, and Enid heads off to the Lupin cages, Wednesday swearing to meet her first thing in the morning, while Eugene gets got by Isaac. Santiago and the cops fall for Tyler's ploy, running over to another town, while Weems revels in Dort's downfall. Eugene delivering Isaac's message, the final battle to take place at the Skull Tree, due for midnight. Thing almost gives Isaac a bolt to the face when they meet, but Tyler delivers the hand to Isaac. Plot twist, Thing is Isaac's missing hand, explaining why the Da Vinci hasn't been using his abilities. And while this was set up with Thing's arc, it is a little odd that there were no hints at all from Isaac's side, because I can't recall a single moment where emphasis was put on his handless glove. Also, we get this dumbass graphic where we see the letters in Night rearranged to Thing. It's like the Sutek reveal without any of the tension. Isaac stitches Thing back onto himself, taking the poor appendage over, and here we have it, and Adams dying, losing all sense of self. It's right here. But the show never acknowledges it as such, even though Thing's whole story is about how his past doesn't matter and he is his own Adams as he is. But the show never connects the two. They try to fake you out with Morticia falling over later, and then kinda just wave the vision off. But where Enid dying and being revived would have been a clear solution to her demise, that's pretty much exactly what happens to Thing. But the show, instead of making this the prominent resolution when they beat Isaac, seems to ignore what it's doing here, and like so many other times, once again, ignores the Adams in favour of shoving more Hyde drama down our throats. Hey guys, it's called Wednesday, a la the Addams Family, not Tyler Hyde in the City. Whether this show refuses to give us good material in moments or straight up ignores the good material it manages to make, it will always simultaneously entertain and enrage me. Isaac wants Wednesday out of the way, burying her alive, where her father would have been buried, and I've seen Weilers on Copium saying tons of shit about this scene, but face facts, Tyler barely cares about her being buried. Like, yeah, he looks like he has a little longing, but it's more like he wanted to do it himself than him not wanting it to happen. He still very much wants her and Enid dead. Agnes sees the burying after abandoning her dad for her new mums, so fetches Enid. The only option to save the goth being for her to wolf out and dig her out. Agnes not really making any effective headway, but she's trying her best, goddammit. Enid's wolf looks a lot better this season, and after they look into each other's eyes longingly and lovingly, Wednesday recognizing the massive sacrifice Enid made for her, Enid runs off into the wilderness, now destined to be hunted by her own kind. See what I mean about this show trying to get their straight love interests front and center, and then accidentally writing the gayest shit ever? Wednesday sends Agnes to track her, and joined by Morticia, Gomez getting the authorities, they storm into the lab where Francoise is elected to have Tyler's hide removed first, strapping him to the table and activating the machine, much to his rage. Because I guess the show really wants the ideas of Tyler and non-consent really just buddied up together, whether it's something happening to him or something he's doing to Wednesday. Before the process can finish, Morticia baits Francoise, and Wednesday frees Tyler, letting him go after Isaac so that she can save Pugsley. Now this moment I can't defend. While this is easily seen as Wednesday making a strategic decision so she can save Pugsley, with that stupid line at the end of the episode where she acts as if she isn't sure why she freed Tyler, this is definitely meant to be a moment setting up unresolved feelings. And all I have to say is that he was part of multiple plans to kill her. The first plan would have worked if not for a spirit intervening, has assaulted her more than once, one time landing her in a coma, and assaulted and threatened to kill multiple of the very small number of people that Wednesday cares about, including her little brother and Enid. This relationship is trash, and so are whichever writers trying to make it work. Tyler goes after his mother, Wednesday enjoying the fighting immensely.
It's your mommy.
I
haven't enjoyed a mother-son relationship like this since Psycho.
The Hydes battling it out over the school rooftops in a big CGI brawl. Ah, so you didn't have the budget for Pugsley using his lightning in a resurrection scene, as said in interviews, but you did for two of the lesser audience cared about characters to have a big brawl, where the thing I and many other people cared most about was securing the safety of the dorm window. Isaac's device is once again going to shit, blowing up in his face, just as Francoise dies upon a werewolf statue. Ironic. There's a fake out of Morticia's death, once again, poorly done and wasting time, and the arc that they already set up. Speaking of that arc, Isaac, much like Morticia, obviously was still alive, and when trying to kill Wednesday, Thing comes back, using his fighting prowess we've seen before to beat the shit out of the Da Vinci in a really good beatdown, ripping his clockwork heart right from his chest. It's good, really, but there are so many minor changes that I've mentioned that could elevate it to great, especially having a scene where Wednesday welcomes Thing back like the rest of the family, as we know how much she cares as seen in last season. But really all we get is a poorly done 80-yard line. The next day they're all packed up, Thing throwing his night ring away and embracing his own identity. Tyler looks over his parents' graves and Capri for some reason asking him to go with her theorizing that getting a load of Hydes together would create a support system that negates the need for masters. Okay, that's kind of a clever idea to get Tyler out of the show, but last season no one had heard of a Hyde before, and now they're fucking everywhere. Capri's dad, her ex, Tyler, his mum, this pack, the one Fester met. I thought the whole point of Wednesday only being able to find them present in Nathaniel Faulkner's journal was that they were rare and dangerous. Pugsley and Eugene have a nice goodbye, and Weems goes off on spirit holiday now that Wednesday and Morticia are on better terms. Wednesday, joined by Thing and Fester, heading straight for the Canadian wilderness in search of Enid. And we get teased for the next season, Ophelia alive and stuck under Hester's mansion in a cell. Wanting Wednesday dead, communicated with blood all over the walls. And for some reason the Avian's bird appears again, which just has no meaning whatsoever. Why is that there? Judy and everyone involved with Lois, bar Tyler, is dead. Overall, the ending wasn't that bad, and once again, setting up a season where the premise is solely based on Wednesday and Enid makes me hopeful next season will be better off, instead of repeating this season's failures. I swear to God, if Enid or Wednesday get another love triangle, I'm going to stab someone. All the pieces, Isaac, Thing, the prophecy, they were there, but there was a much better way to arrange them that we just didn't manage. So that was Wednesday Season 2. There was a lot of good here. The acting was pretty much 10 out of 10, but where this show fails is the way it uses its characters and its story. Wednesday was a good lead, sure. I would have liked a bit more evolution from last season, as she basically repeats her talk to everyone one by one and accuse everyone remotely suspicious except for the actual perpetrator thing from last season. But apart from teasing she might still have feelings for Tyler, the rest of her characterization was pretty good. Enid was wasted for a lot of the season, but setting up her next season arc and how she was when the show actually treated her as a main character were really fun. Agnes, being the new tertiary character of the group, got the best arc, even if her role as the Stalker was wasted like expired milk. And if Evie doesn't return next season prominently, once again with her own character arc, maybe even given some plot prominence, it would be a massive waste. On the other hand, Thing, I think, needs to stay, but he probably doesn't need as much plot prominence next season, just being a good member of the sidecast. Joy Sunday was good as Bianca, but my God, was her plot mismanaged. Changing focus or not having any at all every couple of episodes. And very little interaction with the main character, who was set up to be her respected rival. A real waste. Tyler had good plot prominence, and it's not like there was a lack of good acting, but I really think he's run his course, as all he did this season was injure the main character and be the, or at least a major part of the introduction of 3 out of 4 of the main villains. Sure, give him a 1-episode cameo so that he can get the redemption it seems the writers really want him to have, but then just forget about him, please. He was a pretty good twist villain in season 1, but you just can't make him interesting at the expense of the other characters who deserve the screen time. Ajax being one of the characters that needs it. He was kinda just there in season 1, but here he got a taste of real agency. So I'm hoping along with Agnes next season, he'll have a lot more to do prominently in a plot line. The Addams family will need to come back, but I feel they were used pretty well this season, tying into the main plot well, and while barely interacting that there should have been more of, their connection to the Knights I thought was a great way to layer connections in the story. But more of a proper focus on them as a family to mirror the possibly incestuous abusive monsters that are the Knights would have been appreciated. I rated last season a 7.5 out of 10, and while there is a lot more here that I liked or was excited by, its failings make me feel that last season was the better one, as its plots and character arcs felt really solid and entwined. While here the plot lines were messy, some characters don't seem to play how they were intended, some of the things that make the show as great as it was, like Jenna and Emma, are intentionally pushed away for a majority of episodes, and sure, that makes the scenes where they're together in the last 3 episodes feel all the more stronger. It makes a lot of part 1 feel wasted, as we're supposed to care for Enid's life, and all we see her do is be jealous and cheat. So I guess I'll rate Wednesday Season 2 a 7 out of 10, only getting such a good score since everything but the writing was exemplary, but I really do feel the call of a 6 out of 10, especially thinking about episode 5. Thank you everybody for watching my reviews of Wednesday Season 2. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so you're told every single time that I make an upload. Write down in the comments what you think needs to be done in Season 3, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.